Thanks for clicking on this video. Let me get straight to the point. You are so much more powerful than who you believe yourself to be. But I get that it's hard to believe that when your focus is elsewhere. I get that it's hard to believe that when your focus is on the failure that you're feeling, no matter what you've been doing, how much you've been trying, no matter how much effort and new action that you have given to your work, to your life, to your relationship, things haven't changed. I get the feelings of failure. I get the internal feelings of failure, the shame and the regret and the disappointment, the disillusionment, the frustration. I get it. And I get the external realities of failure as well, where life feels very contracted, very, very small, where relationships feel so much less than what they could be, where they feel so ordinary, uninspiring, where relationships where you feel misunderstood, misheard, devalued, not loved by your partner. I get that. I get the financial contraction. I get the unwellness where, because of the decisions that you've been making that have not been self-loving, that have not been self-valuing, that have not been powerful, I get that these decisions have had an effect on your body. And you may be feeling various forms of anxiety, from low level anxiety right through to panic attacks and terror attacks. I get it. I also get that you may also be feeling depressed. I also get that you may have considered or are taking medication. And I'm not saying that that's not appropriate, because it is absolutely appropriate in the right circumstance. But I get it. I get how sad and how dark you feel at times. I get how hopeless you feel, and perhaps even resignation. I get it. And I want to apologize, because my posts that I have been joyfully writing and sharing recently have all been to do with where my clients are currently at. And where my clients are currently at, in the majority, is a place of great creation and great results and great joy and fulfillment. Inspiring relationships, inspired relationships, freedom at home, love at home, freedom from addictive thoughts and behaviors. And so I've been writing all these stories about clients and about the conversation that I'm holding, which is so exciting. And I've written them to inspire you, and I can see that they have, because I've been getting so much engagement, which I'm so thankful for. Thank you for all the posts that you have shared with amongst your communities. Thank you. But in doing so, I forgot where they began, and therefore I forgot to speak to where you are at right now. And so I apologize. I missed the mark. I get that those stories inspired you, but I can also appreciate that you may think, wow, that's amazing for them, but that's just not ever going to happen for me. All of my clients that you believe have amazing lives and have possibly made the assumption that that's great for them, but it'll never happen for you. They all started where you are at right now in their own stories. They all experienced failure after failure after failure and disappointment and regret and shame and unwellness in their bodies, and very dissatisfactory relationships at home, strained marriages, contracted finances. They all began in the same place. So I'm sorry that I forgot to speak to that, but I am now. And I want to say that I see you and that I have your back, and I'm welcoming you in to have a different experience, a very vastly different experience to the experience that you're having now. Now, I also experienced something myself last week when I had this remembering that I'd forgotten to speak to where you are at. And the remembering is that one of the reasons why I forgot to speak to where you're at right now is because the process that my clients are taken on is one of great acceleration. So the pain and the suffering that they begin with does not last for long. It does not mean to say that they don't have issues, that they don't have fears that arrive. They do, but not to the level that they began with. Freedom is available very, very quickly for them. And so I want to tell you this, that it does not take long. It does not take long to move out of the reality of pain and suffering and failure and disappointment and regret. It does not take long to move out of that due to the conversation that is held, the high frequency conversation that is held. I hear so many times from clients that what was shifted in a very short amount of time, they couldn't shift with a therapist or a counselor or many other modalities for years. They couldn't experience the freedom that they have experienced with all of the money and the time that they'd spent on other things. And you know what? I normally will play humble, but I'm going to say I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the fact that the space that is held for my clients is super accelerated. I won't tell you in this video what that process is, other than to say that I'm greatly supported, greatly supported, and have a very high level of connection. And it's through the information that I receive, that is such high frequency, that the acceleration occurs, that the great leap in results in a different reality occurs. And I'm really, really proud of that. And so I'm sharing that with you here. It does not take long. Now, the other thing that I want to say is that the reason why results do not take long in the programs that I facilitate is because I know that I am not for everyone. I used to think that I was, but I had a change in mind about 5 years ago, and I've seen a very significant change in the results that are facilitated because I know that I'm here for a particular person. Now, not only am I here for a particular person who has experienced failure after failure after failure, regret, shame, disappointment, disillusionment, unfulfillment, and who are tired of that, I also know that I'm here to work with who I call, and you may not call yourself this, but I'm here to work with people who are evolutionary leaders. They are the ones to say, I can't do it this way anymore, whether that be in their business, their finances, their relationship, their health. They cannot do it this way anymore. So they are the ones to go first and put up their hands and say, I'm responsible and nobody else for creating the change that I am seeking. And I will do what it takes. I will commit and I will give my full presence to this process of transformation, not just for a temporary transformation where there's a little band-aid fix or it lasts for a few years, but I'm talking about a transformation for life. They're the ones who go all in, who fully surrender despite any fearful thoughts and feelings and circumstantial conversations around time and money and what their partners are going to say and etc., etc. They're the ones who fully surrender. And they go first. And because they go first, their whole state of being changes and their reality changes. But the thing is that it's not a selfish act, because the process of transformation that we work with is one of generosity, of great generosity. It's also one of great effortlessness. So when we are in relationship with people that we believe that they need to change, and we tell them that they need to change, we know how well that goes down, don't we? Not very well. When the evolutionary leader takes responsibility for being the change that they wish to be, when they take responsibility for the change that they wish to seek in others, the other changes, not because they told them to change. The evolutionary leaders that I work with have an exquisite state of presence, and that presence is infectious. Because they don't play out the same stories that they used to, the dynamics cannot help but change, because the partner, whether that be a business partner or a life partner, no longer has the game to play that they used to play, because the evolutionary leader cut that game out. And so it calls them to step up. So one of the things that I'm really proud of, and it gives me so much joy, is when I see not only has the person that I'm coaching transformed in very significant ways, but I then get to hear stories of, oh my God, my husband, my wife, my partner, my children are so different. They're speaking to me about things that I never thought that they would speak to me about. They're making new choices for themselves that I never thought that they would make for themselves. So the process of valuing self, loving self, trusting self, and also owning and embracing and expressing your divine, authentic leadership and power. That's not just for you, it's infectious. It bleeds out into your business, into your family, into your community, and into humanity. And that's the other thing that I want to say, is that the evolutionary leaders who work with me, and the reason why the results happen so significantly and in such an accelerated way, is because the people that I work with are here. Again, they may not believe themselves to be this when they first begin with me, but they are here to enable and to activate great change beyond them, beyond them. They are here to activate and enable great change, always firstly in them. That's the integrity piece, and then beyond them. The other reason, the final reason why the results happen in such significant ways, not just for them, but for many, and it does not take long, it happens in a very accelerated way, is because I do not work with everyone. I work with people who I feel and they feel that there is a sacred or a soul contract that we share. It's like there's this knowing that we were meant to do this together. There's this knowing. And when we meet, that knowing, let me reverse what I just said, is not only when we meet, it is even before we have met that there's this knowing that we are meant to do this together, despite all the fears that the mind wants to convince you with. The people that I work with feel compelled to work with me. They feel like they have no choice but to work with me. And it is because they fully surrender into that, they fully trust their intuition that is moving them in this direction. And they don't listen to all the stories that their mind wants to tell them to keep them safe, in other words. It's because that they fully surrender into this intuition that they experience the results that they do in the most accelerated ways that they do. And so I want to say this to you. If you're feeling that with me, you may have been feeling that already in the post that you have read. But in this video, if you are feeling compelled, it's like you're being pulled. It's like you know that I see you, you know that I have your back. And you have this knowing that if we were to work together, that you too would transform dramatically, internally and externally. That failure and disappointment and shame and regret and contraction in all of those external areas of your life, your business, your relationship, your finances, your health, you know that if we were to work together, that all of that would be greatly transformed. There's a part of you that knows this. There's the deep, deep part of you that knows this. And so I ask you to take action from that place. I ask you not to just watch this video, but I ask you to click on the link to the application form that will have you answer a series of questions that will allow me to connect in with you. And then that will have us have a call where we will connect even more deeply. Please do not ignore this feeling away. Please do not ignore this feeling away. It happens in you first and then onto many. It does not take long. And the results are very generous. They're not just for you. In fact, it is choosing to transform in this way is not only the most self-loving act, but it's also the most loving act of generosity that you can give to your family, to your business, to your community, and way, way beyond in humanity. I thank you for watching this video, and I thank you for taking this call to action and reaching out to me and exploring. Now I have 2 programs. I have a year-long Soul Family Mastermind program, and I also have a 2-month Coming Home program. Not everybody is ready for the year-long program. Some people are, and it's very obvious when they are. And if they are not ready for the year-long program, the 2-month Coming Home program will create extraordinary shifts that in 2 months' time, I know you will say, thank God I reached out to Giselle. That 2-month program will show you that it does not take time. And that 2-month program, by the end of the 2 months, you'll be ready to up-level into the year-long mastermind. I work one-on-one, very, very potent, powerful work that we do together, one-on-one. We have regular calls, because I work with people all over the world, one-on-one, very powerful and potent and important work that we do one-on-one. We also do a lot of group work. If you are a soul or a sacred contract with me, we're meant to be doing this together. You're also meant to be doing this with the people in the program, your soul family. Now, there are exponential results that are available in this soul family. Exponential results are available. There are conversations and experiences and realizations that will happen by being in relationship with other people that couldn't happen just with you and I alone. It is a very, very important part of the program. So we have regular fortnightly calls as a group. And we also have several physical retreats where we are together with each other, either in Sydney, in Sydney and overseas. But you can read more about that when you click on the link. Please, please love yourself enough. Trust yourself enough. Trust your intuition enough. Trust this feeling of expansion and full transformation to the point that will have you click on the link below, complete the application form, and have me arrange a call with you. I really look forward to meeting you and to seeing what we can do together. What we will do together, we will only have a small conception of that right now. But it will be enough to have you fully surrender into that. Over time, what we will do together will show itself. And it is much, much bigger than what we can both conceive of now, because there's some things that we need to clear out of the way, first of all. Once that's cleared out of the way, the vision is going to show you what it wants from you. In fact, what it demands from you. But what it demands from you right now is for you to fully surrender into a support structure that will guarantee you a very significant transformation inside and out, not just for you, but for many, many, many. Look forward to connecting with you on the call. Thank you.